Jagged Jam Masters. True spirituality shouldn't really be something you're practicing or trying to achieve. You should start with right understanding. You need to understand yourself. You need to understand why things are the way they are and what you're going through. It's more about realization of what you already know than it is about learning something. That's how real spirituality should be. Like, oh yeah, I've seen that, I see that. Not, oh, how do I achieve that or how do I find that? So your starting place with real spirituality is something that you're very used to noticing. When you get what you want, you're happy. When you get what you want, you get excited. When you get what you want, you feel passion. You get what you want, you feel enthused. Yes or no? You sure? Oh, okay, go home. Talk to what I want to teach you. So that's what I mean. It's always been that way, ever since you were tiny. When you get what you want, you stop crying. When you don't, you cry. And you're still doing the same thing. So that's your starting place, is this understanding that if I get what I want, I'm doing well. I feel high, I feel clear, I feel love, I feel openness, and so on. And then, of course, the opposite is also true, whereas when I don't get what I want, I'm not doing so well. And worse, if I get what I don't want, then I'm really not doing well. So these are things we know. These are things that are obvious. They're the foundation of spirituality. They're the foundation of your spiritual growth. If you understand these things, you're well on your way. Because now what it comes down to is you have two choices. Like there's two roads, there's a branch in the road of your life. One is, okay, if I get what I want, I'm doing well. If I get the job I want, I like doing it. If I get the relationship I want, I feel love. Things are happening the way I want, I'm doing well. Therefore, here's the therefore. Therefore, I need to keep getting what I want. I need to keep figuring out what I want. I need to keep getting it. I need to keep it. And I need to go about my business. All right? Or I need to find out why I'm that way. Why do I only feel good when I get what I want? And why do I feel bad when I get what I don't want? That's a deeper question than how to get what I want and how to avoid what I don't want. There's nothing wrong with those things. They're truth. I already said it. If I get what I want, I'm doing well. If I get what I don't want, I'm not doing well. So your choice now is very simple. People don't think they have a choice. They think, I need to go out there to do well. I need to get what I want. Spirituality asks to slow down for a minute. That's a truth, and there's nothing wrong with that. But who decided what you want? Doesn't that limit your happiness and your well-being to making sure that people are the way you want, that they're doing what you want, that they're telling you what you want, that you're seeing what you want, that you're hearing what you want, that everything's happening the way you want? As long as it is, you're fine. But what if it isn't? What if it just isn't happening that way? Well then, okay, they teach you that. Life has its ups and downs. It's not true. It is true that life has its ups and downs. But really what's happening is life is just unfolding. It unfolds in front of you. I keep teaching you that. It's going on everywhere. It's going on everywhere you're not. Life is going on. It's not that the part in front of you is different than the rest. It's just life. It's a motion picture. It's been going on for 13.8 billion years. And every single place there is in the universe, there's something going on. And therefore, there's something going on in front of you. The difference between whether you're doing well or not is not what's going on in front of you. It's whether you like what's going on in front of you. And so the question becomes, you either spend your life trying to get what you want, or when you go deeper, you ask, who decided what I want? Why is it that way? In other words, there's something called conditional happiness, we just talked about it, and something called unconditional happiness. In other words, is it possible that I can feel enthused all the time, regardless of what's going on in front of me? That I can feel love all the time, regardless of what's going on in front of me? That I can feel passion, that I can feel excitement, that I can just be, wow, totally blown away by everything that is unfolding in front of me? And the answer is yes, that is possible. They won't tell you that. They want you to buy their goods. So you get what's popular, and therefore you feel special, and you're getting what you want, all right? That's what happens. They advertise a toy on TV for the kids. And now, until I get there, I'm not okay. And if I get it, I'm fine. Well, you're exactly the same, okay? If you go to Hawaii or somewhere on your vacation and it doesn't have a tornado and it doesn't erupt a volcano and the hotel doesn't have any roaches and every single thing is exactly the way you want, you had a great vacation. If anything is not, well, obviously I didn't. Why? Because it's not about where you are or what's happening or who you're with. It's not about that. It's about whether what's happening is matching what you want. You know who taught you this? Buddha. This is the foundation of Buddha's teachings. Basically, he said, life is suffering. Why? Because you want it to be a certain way. That's the second noble truth. The cause of suffering is preference, is desire. There's a way you want it to be. What if there wasn't a way you wanted it to be? Let's go real quick. What if you woke up in the morning and said, I'm back? And that was enough. Look, I'm back. And guess what's going to happen today? I don't know. It's going to be fun. It's like being on a vacation. There's things that are going to happen. Well, aren't there things going to happen that you don't want? No. No, there are not things that might happen that I don't want. Wow. Whoa, that's a crazy thought, isn't it? Imagine if there were not things that could happen that you don't want, what would you worry about? Just go slow. The only thing you worry about is that you won't get what you want, or that you get what you don't want. What if there wasn't that thing called preference? What if you woke up in the morning and you said, wow, bring it on. Bring it on. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's have fun. And nothing inside of you, that's the tough part, nothing inside of you questioned it. It just said, wow. And throughout your day, things unfold. You see people, they come, they go, and you see animals, and you see birds, and you see fishes, and you see plants, and you see all kinds of things, and everything you look at, wow, where did that come from? Wow. It's not so hard to do that. Let's get something straight. I taught Mickey to do that in 1972, and I make sure he does it all the time. Does what? I am sitting on a planet in the middle of nowhere in outer space. How about you? Okay? Just sitting on a planet in the middle of nowhere in outer space. Somebody sent me a picture the other day of a close-up of Mercury transiting the sun. The sun was this big, and Mercury was a couple of dots on the sun. And you saw the thing going across there. Well, the Earth's only 3 times the diameter, so big deal, 6 dots. And that's where you are. I told you, I've taught you so many times, there are 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. Well then, wow, that's where you are. And that's what's happening. You're sitting on that tiny little planet, circling the sun. And 1.3 million of the entire planet Earth fit inside the sun. So what are you having trouble with? No, seriously, what are you having trouble with? You just sit on a planet. Every day it spins around its axis. Seriously, I'm not saying this to have fun. You have the right to think like this. You have the right to sit there and somebody says to you, what did you do today? A 360. Because that's what you did. That's what you did today. What did you do this year? A big 360. And that's all that's happening. And how many times are you going to do the big 360? I don't know, 70, 80, 90, something like that. That's not very many times. And you wake up and you realize that's what's happening. Well, what if that was your preference? I enjoy sitting on planet Earth and spinning through space and seeing what happens on the planet. Like they want to fly to Mars. No humans land on Mars yet. If you go on up to Mars, you're going to be excited. What's going on there? There's going to be interesting. Well, you're on the planet Earth. It's just like being on Mars or Jupiter or anywhere else. It's just a planet spinning through outer space. And you landed on this one. Well, why don't you check it out? Why don't you just look around and see what's going on? Because there's much more going on here than there is on Mars. Here, everywhere you look is something different. And how can you not be blown away? Here's a plant. Where'd a plant come from? I don't know. I make my mind do this. And it changes everything. See, you look at a plane and walk right by. I don't. He says, where did that come from? There's no plants on Mars. How come there's plants here? Where did the plant come from? Oh, somebody dropped a seed. A seed? A seed is like this big. What do you mean somebody dropped a seed? Then what did they do? Nothing. So somebody dropped a seed and walked away. And what happened? Next time you come back, there's a tree, or a fern, or a plant, or a cornstalk. I beg you to take a moment and answer me, where did that come from? Was it like magic trick? Poof, there's nothing. Bam, now there is. Where did it come from? It has to be made of something. Everything's made of atoms. The seed was just a little tiny little thing like this. Now there's this cornstalk. What's it made of? Where did it come from? Who put it there? And you stop and you realize, God, I really do know where it came from. It's dirt. Something took dirt. Like kids go to the beach. They take sand and they make a castle. What made this out of dirt? There's nothing in that cornstalk. Dirt, sunlight, and water. That's all there is. There's nothing else. Dirt, the minerals inside the dirt, sunlight, giving energy to do its thing, and water. What did that? How can you walk through life and just pass all this? I could be talking about a weed on the side of the road. It's the exact same thing. Where did it come from? Well, my understanding is there's a molecule called DNA. It did it. What? It did it. When dirt and water and sunlight passed through that molecule, it got interacted with that molecule, it was like a chemist. It broke down the molecules that were dirt and put them together to make a different kind of molecule to make it be a cornstalk. Maybe if we thought like this, life would be a little more fun, be a little more interesting. Maybe it would always be exciting. Well, you have the ability to think like, who told you have to think the way you do? Nobody. You did it. There's nobody else in there telling you how to think. Why can't you think that I'm sitting on a planet spinning in the middle of nowheres, and everywhere I look, a bird flew by? Where did its body come from? How can we miss all this? Okay, a human came by. Oh boy, that's a whole different thing. That's a very different thing. Now we're going to judge. That human has to be politically what I like, and has to be this, and has to look the way. Oh, has to look the way I like. One way or another. If they don't look the way I like, if they look the way I am weird. Admit it. You are weird, right? You get all weird when a human goes by. Okay? You know them, you don't know them. Come on, man. You've seen one, you've seen them all. 2 eyes, 2 arms, a couple of legs, some toes. Give me a break, all right? Some thoughts going on in there, some emotions. It's all the same. But no, we don't live like that, do we? And it's not so much fun the way we live. Why? I said it to start with. If that human is the way you want, and I mean everything, the way they part their hair, the way the perfume or cologne they wear, too much, too little, I don't like that type. I had that type when I broke up with my boyfriend. He smelled like that. You just sit there and you are not okay unless it is exactly the way you want it to be. And if it is, it's love at first sight. Okay? If it was every one of those things lined up just right exactly, your heart goes boom, and everything, you're leaving everybody, causing all kinds of trouble. And if it isn't the way you like, it's like, oh man, the best you can do is walk away. All right? And you start questioning, what is going on here? I'm sitting on a planet spinning in the middle of nowhere, being weird and having problems. Why? So you start questioning this life that says, I am only okay if things in front of me unfold the way I want. And I am seriously not okay if things in front of me unfold the way I don't want. What about all the other things that aren't in front of you? Who cares? The moment you are seeing right here, see it? There are 700 billion zillion quillion of them. You're just not seeing them, but that's okay. And now we're getting weird. I only can't handle it if it's in front of me. How's that for a statement? I only care about what's in front of me, interacting with me. Otherwise, it's fine all over the universe. I forgot to tell you, 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. Well, that makes you feel pretty small, right? Your sun is actually a star, and there are 300 billion of them in your galaxy. 300 billion suns, stars in your galaxy. Well, what does that mean? It's just a number. People say you can't just throw numbers at me. You have to give some relative understanding, right? I just gave her a task. I picked her out of the group. And I said, sit in the corner and count to your lifetime. Count to 80, count to 90, 1 second per count. Okay, how long will it take you? A minute and a half at 90. Well, count to 300 billion, 1 second at a time. You ready? It will take you 95 lifetimes of 100 years each. And that is assuming that you can say 214 billion, 16 million, 413,000, 1,200 in a second. And you can't. So you better sign up for a long trip in that corner, all right? That's how many stars there are, and you 1.3 billion of your planet fit inside one of them. If that's not enough, and then I'm going to stop, that's 300 billion in your galaxy. There are 2 trillion galaxies. What's bothering you? I like that laugh. How much did that laugh cost? Nothing. It's free of charge. How often can you have that laugh? Every second of your life. Why? Because it's always that way. Well, what if you get a little zit on your face and you have to go to the prom? It's still that way. It didn't change. There's still 1.3 billion Earths fit inside the sun, 300 billion suns in your galaxy, and 2 trillion galaxies. This is what spirituality is teaching you. Is there a difference between science and spirituality? No. The scientists gave you the right to be spiritual. They gave you the right not to worry. They gave you the right not to be all caught up in yourself, didn't they? If you bother to take it, these are things you can understand. These are things that if you ignore them, you've ignored reality. Then the Bible says, and you shall know the truth, and truth will set you free. So basically you wake up and you realize, I am doing something very weird with my life. I am saying that I have decided in my mind how I want things to be. Which things? All 1.3 million of the Earths and all the galaxies? No. Who cares about them? Get reality away from me, will you please? All right? Just the moment in front of me. That's what I decided. The moment in front of me has to be the way I want. Can't be too hot. Can't be too cold. Like somewhere between 68 and 72. Relative humidity below 50%, but not too far down. Everything has to be exactly the way I want for me to be okay. Who did that? Who said so? You did. Nobody can make you think like that. You decided to think like that instead of thinking the way you just giggled. That, millions of Earths fit inside the sun and there's 300 billion suns and I'm just sitting here, baby, for a few years and I'm making myself crazy. I did that to myself. No one else is in there. There's nobody else in there. Not your children, not your spouses, not your preacher, not your rabbi, not anybody. You're the only one in there. So if you made a mess in there and made it really difficult to live on a minute-to-minute basis, you did that. That's now you're at a foundation of spirituality. If I'm not experiencing reality, which is, wow, I wonder what I'm going to see next, because this is pretty awesome. What is everything? The fact I used to make him do this. So here's somebody who's going to talk to me. It's my boss, and they're going to criticize me. All right? What does that mean? Let's get this straight. Now, don't tell your boss you're doing this when they criticize you. Just stand there very straight and listen. But inside, you do this. I actually understand what he's saying. That's weird. How does that happen? There's these sound waves coming out of his larynx, and they're passing through space, and they're hitting my eardrum, and it's vibrating, and it's coming into my mind. There's just noise. And when it gets into my mind, I actually understand what he had in his mind, passed through his larynx, came into my eardrum, vibrated as sounds, and wow! That's unbelievable. That's what you're doing when he's criticizing you. Having fun yet? Guess what? That's what's happening. How can you not be blown away that we can communicate like that? That somehow they figured out how many noises can your larynx make? Apparently quite a few, because I'm making a lot right now. And it just vibrates, and people said, okay, that vibration means this, and that vibration means this, and we all learned all that. You guys are brilliant. You're unbelievable. And so what am I telling you? You can have fun, win, always, all the time, if you stop saying, no, I can't if he said that. Why can't it be like that? Why do you have to create a situation inside yourself that suffers? Now Buddha again, all of life is suffering. Doesn't mean every moment you're breaking your arm. It just means you're worried and you're anxious and you got anxiety and you're scared that somebody will say something you don't like. You're scared you're going to get old and you'll get varicose veins, and you will. And I don't want that. Okay, well, you're in big trouble then, because it's going to happen, right? And so Buddha said all life is suffering, and the cause of suffering is that you decided how life has to be. Preference, desire. He basically said the cause of suffering is desire. The cause of all suffering is desire. A desire means you're setting aside what you like against what you dislike. You have preference. In your mind, it's not all okay with you, is it? Why? Why is it okay with her? It's not okay with you. Why was it okay with you 3 days ago, but it's not okay with you now? This is the cause of all suffering, that you've done this. That inside your mind, instead of taking that option I gave you, you can have your own option. I just gave you mine. I like out there in space. It's really nice out there. It's very safe. It's beautiful to just see a little ball spin in the middle of nowhere with just dark, empty space and just say, hello. What exactly are you doing down there? You came down to visit the planet Earth for a few years, and you're suffering. The nicest planet, we've never seen anything even close. Not just in our solar system. You know, our telescopes can see pretty far now. We have all kinds of stuff going on out there. And we ain't seen squat. No, I'm saying there's not something out there. I like when you say that. There must be. I don't know if there is or not. All I know is we ain't seen nothing that is close to one moment that you have every day. And all you do is complain. So what you have done, and we can talk about how and why in a moment. My new book, Living Untethered, goes very deep into how this happened. But basically, it is happening that you have made these decisions inside your mind of how things need to be for you to be okay. And the minute you did it, you made a mistake. Just decide how the weather needs to be for you to be okay tomorrow. And you won't be okay. Unless it's exactly that way. What's the probability it's going to be that way? I don't know, 2%. The more finite you get down to it, the less the percent. The more exact you get, the way somebody needs to be, and I like this. And go on the dating service sites and just put down what you like and find one that matches. What kind of food do they like, and what do they like, where do they want to go, and what do they think, what color is their hair. Just keep getting finite, more specific. You're in trouble. It's not all that funny, really, is it? Why? Because we do this. We literally believe that what we made up in our mind is how it needs to be for us to be okay. And because we said that, it needs to be that way. The car needs to be exactly right. The house has to be exactly right. The husband, the wife, the kids, every single thing. The work, the boss, the co-workers, come. The road, is it rough and causing vibrations and making noise when I'm trying to talk? Every single thing. You did this. No, the road did it, the husband did it, the wife did it, the thing did it. No, they did not. They're just something else on the planet Earth while you happen to be here visiting. And so basically you realize you did this with this brilliant thing you have called your mind. The one that's able to understand what I'm saying without even trying. You are brilliant. Some people say that I talk against the mind. I do not talk against the mind. The mind is brilliant. It's, oh my God, look what it's done. It made a rocket ship out of dirt. The DNA made a plant. We did more than that, man. Flew to the moon, took DNA with us. It's like you have a brilliant mind. The question is not whether your mind's brilliant. What are you doing with it? What I'm doing with it is making myself completely neurotic, making myself worry about everything, be anxious about everything, be insecure. That's what you did with your mind. Nobody did that. It's your mind. I showed you another way the mind could be, didn't I? But that's what you did with yours. You sit there and say, I'm only okay if everything's exactly the way my mind said it should be. That's what Buddha meant. The cause of suffering is desire. The cause of suffering is preference. That you set aside what you like and you dislike, and now you're in big trouble. Why? Because the probability that the moment in front of you is going to be the way you made up inside your head, slim to nil. Why would it be? It is the result of all the force that made it be the way it is. Why did it have to rain on my birthday? It didn't know it was your birthday. It had to do with what happened in the Alps. The snow was melting and this and that, and then the wind came across and highs and lows. And that's why it rained on your birthday. It had nothing to do with your birthday. It's not personal. Why did he have to die? I'm not going to answer you. I'm not going to answer you. It had nothing to do with you, hopefully. Now you got something to worry about. It's like the forces that be. I don't know. He inherited this gene. It was this, it was that. He breathed something when he was working in the mines. I don't know. But there's reasons. But that's not what you meant when you say, why did he have to die? You meant, I don't want that he died, and he shouldn't have died because I didn't want it. You honestly believe that which you made up in your mind is what's supposed to happen. Well, guess what? It's not. What is supposed to happen is what's happening right in front of you. That is the result of all the forces of the universe from the beginning of time came together to give you this gift, the moment in front of you. But I don't like it. You see, spirituality is very, very deep. It's about accepting reality. It's about saying, I'm here, I'm visiting the planet Earth, and I'm having these experiences. Fine. Let me work with them. Let me enjoy them. Let me participate. It's not renunciation. I'm going to a cave somewhere. You're living your life. You're just not telling life it has to be what your mind made up. Because then you're not living your life. You're living what you made up in your mind. You're literally insisting that what I made up, that I want to happen, is what is supposed to be happening out there. And if it's not, I'm in trouble. And so are you. And everybody else. And if it is, whoopee! I'm doing wonderful. Well, fine. We already started that way. Yes, if it matches what you made up, it does what you call open. It opens. Let's go a little deeper now. Now we have a foundation. You open. You ever feel open? Have you felt open in the presence of another person, in the beautiful scenery, or anything? The weather can be so crisp, can't it? Sometimes you just feel like, it can open you. How do you feel when you're open? Ecstatic. Wonderful. High. Beautiful. I got what I wanted. If I get what I want, I open. If I don't get what I want, I don't open. If I get what I don't want, I close. Okay, now we moved one step deeper inside. Instead of just talking about the outer condition, we talk about literally any joy you ever felt is because you opened. You don't feel joy when you're closed. You feel depressed. You feel down. You feel scared. Okay? So there's this thing called opening. And when you open, the energy from inside, and now we're going to get deep, come with me, nothing outside makes you have energy. It opens you and closes you. The energy is coming from inside. Love is inside. Where do you feel love? If you really feel love, if you're madly in love and you get to hug the person you love so much, are your eyes open or closed? Oh, I see. But I thought you loved her or him. Why aren't you looking at him? Because you can't. Because there's love flowing inside. And it's nice, isn't it? And so you get drawn into it. And that closes your eyes and you get drawn into a very beautiful place inside. Same thing with scenery. Same thing with weather. Everything. If you're open, your energy from inside flows. And you see that as beautiful. That's what beauty is. That's what love is. That's all those things. When you close, you don't feel that energy inside. So now we start to go deeper and just say, do I have to live a life that's conditional? If the truth is that what it's about is being open, and it is, and if I'm open, then energy flows, and I feel high, and I feel love, and I feel beautiful, then instead of trying to get what opens me, that's really what I want to talk about. You're going to spend your life trying to find things that open you. You're going to try to find out why you open and close. Because you don't have to open and close. I just showed you. If you keep your mind in outer space, that overview effect the astronauts talk about, you can have that. Just do it in your mind. All the astronauts go up there. They call it the overview effect, which is what? They're here on Earth. They got these political things. They fly out there. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at that planet. Whoa. And they come back, and all of a sudden they're environmentalists, and they're this, and they're spiritual. It changes everything in their thoughts. Isn't that neat? Let's take a look. Well, you have the right to do that anytime you want. That's why you have a mind. You get to go out there. If you see there, right there on that wall, when you go out, the opposite wall from the door, and there's just this black, plain, empty picture. It's just, why would you put a picture up there of just dark? Well, if you look carefully, I do every morning, every evening, there's this tiny little thing, and it happens to be the planet Earth. And it's about that big out of a 8 by 10. And it was taken from 2 million miles out when Cassini was on her way to Saturn. She turned around and took a picture of home. Take a look. You can do that anytime you want. In other words, you have the right to do with your mind what you want. But what we have done with our minds is to develop these preferences, develop these likes and dislikes. And now the mind lets us know. Does your mind let you know what you like or dislike? Say something happens you don't like. Does your mind let you know, or do you miss it? You don't miss it, do you? It just keeps talking about it, doesn't it? I don't like it. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they did that. That was 3 years ago. I don't care. I can't believe they did that. Have you seen them since? Of course not. I avoid them totally for 3 years. I moved. I couldn't handle the fact that they said that to me. And that's what you do with your mind. And so now you understand there's alternatives. And now you come down to understand what's going on. What is going on? What is going on is you programmed your mind with triggers that will open and close you. Experiences happen in the past to get it down so we understand. Why does my mind do that? Why does my mind not enjoy space and enjoy being happy and enjoy the planet? Why does my mind all the time tell me, oh my God, this is unbelievable. Oh my God, this is so neat. How would you like to have a mind that said that? You can turn a dial. I'm a programmer. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Oh look, she's not sure she loves me anymore. That's fun. I wonder what will happen next. That'd be nicer, wouldn't it? Then, oh my God, what will I do? They might just kill me. So you look at it, and what happened? Experiences happen in your past. They came in through your senses. You experienced them. Some of them, you don't want to experience them. I don't experience that. It didn't feel good. Things don't feel good. Rouse things are scary, and stormy weather when you have to get out is not so much fun, and people criticizing you, it doesn't feel good. Fine. It happens, and you let it go. Now you're ready. You're moving. It's called life. But that's not what happens. You don't let it go. You decide, I don't want to experience this. I don't want to experience this. That is so awesome of a statement. I don't want to have experienced this. If I was in a retreat, I'd make you say that, because you say it all the time. Not in words, just inside. I don't want to have experienced this. Well, too bad. It happened. You can't undo what happened. It wouldn't be in there if it hadn't happened. So now that it came in there, you said, I don't want to have experienced this. Okay, well, what do you do? What do you do? It happened. I don't know what to do. I push it away. That's called suppression. Somebody in there suppressed it. Suppression isn't just something that happened by itself. There's a will in there, isn't there? You ever push things away in there? Do you ever push things away in there? Okay, it's called resistance. Like Freud talked about suppression, repression. Yoga talks about resistance. Let's just go right to the top. Do you ever resist in there? Are you conscious? Do you have will? Can you resist? All right, you're in trouble. Anything you ever resisted, by definition, is still in there, because you resisted it. You didn't let it go. It stayed in there. I'm not talking about memory. Memory is a very natural function of your mind. You don't have to think about memory. It goes in. It goes in. You bring it back. You can bring it back, people's names. But when you resist, so it doesn't get to finish its journey through you, including, you can have memory. It's part of the journey. But when you resist it, then it stays stuck in you. Whether it be the conscious mind, subconscious mind, I don't care. Basically, you resisted that thing. You said that to me. You said that to me. I keep hearing you say that. Well, I said it 3 days ago. Sorry. No, sorry. It's going on in my mind over and over again. I can't forgive you. There's nothing to forgive if it goes through. I had an experience and it went through. Hi, Charlie. I guess you had a bad day yesterday. You said something mean. I didn't get stuck in me. Which is worse, that the person said it or that I got stuck in you? Isn't that amazing? You're making a big deal of the fact that they said it or that something happened. But the fact that you couldn't handle it, you resisted it, and so it stayed stuck in there for years. Could be your whole life. And basically something happened when you were 3 years old, and you're 43 years old. That's 40 years ago. And you still can't handle it. If it comes back up, what do? You push it back down. Wow, that is the most important moment of your life. You couldn't handle it, so you pushed it away. The fact that it keeps coming back up tells you what? It didn't go away. You didn't let it go away. You said no. Do the white lines on the road keep coming back up? Do the trees you drive by keep coming back up? No. You still experience them. You can still think about them if you want. How beautiful it was driving down the highway or whatever it is. But it makes it through. But when you resist it and use your will to push it away, you succeed. Will is a tremendous power. It's not just will out here. You have will in there. And you push things away. Emotions and thoughts you push away, especially emotions, because you can't handle them. What do you do with an emotion you can't handle? You push it away. Does it keep coming back up? Of course it does. Why? Because it's still in there. Why is it still in there? Because you kept it in there. You are the one that is holding that inside of you. How do you know that? Just watch. When it comes back up, what do? You push it back down. This is the most important thing you can ever learn. And like I said, I'm not teaching you anything. Just realize you're doing that, aren't you? Well, where do you think it's going to go if you keep pushing it back down? It's going to stay inside of you. That's why you close. That stuff that you stored inside of you is still there. Something happens, it hits that stuff, and you close. So your question is, do I want to make sure I guide myself through life so it doesn't hit my stuff? Good luck. Or I want to get rid of my stuff. Now, we've worked our way all the way down, haven't we? It just comes down to what you're doing with your mind. If you sit there and say, I believe my mind's figured out how things need to be for me to be okay. All your mind did was look at the samskaras, these patterns that you stored inside, and say, okay, how do I get around those and this, and where can I live that this doesn't happen, and who can I be with, and what kind of job do I need? So basically, that's what your mind is doing. It's figuring out what the world needs to be like for you to be okay. But then spirituality doesn't ask what to do that. It says, why are you not okay? And I just told you. The only reason you're not okay is because you store not okay inside of you. If you store everything that ever bothered you inside of you, what are you going to be like inside? Bothered. So eventually you get to the point where you understand all of this is saying the same thing, which is you're doing it, which is a good thing. That's not a bad thing. If I'm doing it, I don't have to do it. I just gave you total empowerment. It's got nothing to do with your boss or your husband or your wife or your kids or this or the weather or where you are in life and are you making enough money. No, it has nothing to do with that. Your happiness, your joy. It has to do with the fact that you did this inside yourself. You stored all this stuff and now you're scared. You're scared something will go wrong. You're scared you'll do something wrong. You'll say something wrong. People will turn on you. I don't know. There's all kinds of things can happen. That's right. We said to start with. All kinds of things happen. Isn't that fun? No. That's why it's not fun. Because you stored all this stuff in here and you're scared. So what's the answer? The answer is, very simply, if you want to be high, you want to have a beautiful life and live unconditionally, one, do your life normal. You're going to anyways. If you like something, you go toward it. That's just kind of natural where you are. But at least work on it from a deeper level inside and realize the only reason it's this way and I'm having all these have-to-dos and likes and dislikes is because I store all the stuff in here. If I didn't have the stuff in here, I'm fine. I'm fine. If I don't have this stuff in here, I get to participate in life. I get to be excited about everything. I don't have to worry about a single thing. It's not a matter of, okay, God will take care of me. I'm safe. No, you don't even have to think like that. It's sort of like, here's God unfolding in front of you, giving you a beautiful day, an unbelievable day with challenges and this and that. Just boogie, have fun, exciting, just love everything. You are capable of that. You're not a fragile little thing. You're a beautiful, great being. But you stored this stuff in here, and it makes you so sensitive that you can't handle anything. And then you decide how life needs to be for you to be okay, and then you go and fight with it. The alternative is to say, okay, I'll live my life. I'm going to naturally be a little human. I'm still human a little bit. So you'll go about your business, doing your thing, do the best you can. But inside, set the pole star of your life, not to get what you want. Set the pole star, I'm getting out of here. It's called liberation. A liberated soul, Jivan Mukta. You're a liberated being. I want to free myself to be happy all the time. I want to free myself from this bondage that I built inside myself. Can you do that at the same time you're getting married, at the same time you're having children, at the same time you're picking up the kids from soccer, at the same time you're going to your job, at the same time you're investing your money? Yes, it has nothing to do with that. It's not about renunciation. It's not about anything. You're living your life, doing the best you can to be open, but you're not going to do perfect. You're still going to grab and pull a little bit, all right? But inside, you start here. This stuff I stored in here is a problem. It made my life conditional. I'm not going to store any more. Don't worry about what's already there. These are real teachings. It's not about, sit there for 20 hours in a retreat and meditate. You can do that. That's wonderful. But in truth, every day of your life, I am not going to put more stuff in here. I have enough trouble with the garbage that I already collected of things I liked and didn't like. No more. No more. Now, you have the right to do that. And if you do that, and you work with your daily experiences and start to see when you resist, start to see when you close and don't, How? You figure it out. That's what I want to say to you. People want techniques, right? Hey, you're very attracted to somebody, all right? Don't ask, well, what should I do? You know what to do. You're very ingenuitous, right? You wear this, say this, do that. You're like, you're pretty good at all this stuff, right? You want to not store more stuff in there? Don't store more stuff in there. You're the one who's in there. That's witness consciousness. Be conscious, be a conscious being, and notice that I'm resisting. Notice that I'm building another one. I'll pay for this. I'll pay for this. If the boss says to me, listen, you didn't do that perfect, I want you to do it this way. And the mind wants to say, well, I did it right. You told me the other way. Yes, inside, watch the tendency to do that and say, okay, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the clues. And just basically, then when you walk away, it won't be going, there was nothing wrong with what I did. I go talk to everybody. Do you that's good? Like, God, you couldn't handle a criticism. You hear me? Just in there, see the cost of doing what you're doing. The cost of liking and not liking, of creating all these impressions in you that are negative. And stop doing it. And don't worry about the old ones. Don't come to me and say, well, what do I do with my father? No, don't worry about it. Literally, I'm telling you, don't worry about it. You start practicing not putting more in there, and you've done everything you can do. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to find out that when the boss says something, what do I teach? Relax and release. I used to say, you have hands in there, don't you? You need hands to push that stuff away. Sit on them. Inside. That's what letting go means. Don't resist. Don't push it away, because you're going to pay a price. Short term, long term, and everything. That's it. I don't like my job anymore. You could do that. One criticism. One person saying, no, you didn't do that right. I was happy here. I don't have to say that, right? I don't want to go to work. I didn't want to go to work today. I used to enjoy coming to work. And you think you're right. You did that because you couldn't handle what's going on. And don't define it any other way. If you're high and you're clear, it's fun. So you, with your life, no matter what's going on, you decide, I'm not going to resist. I'm not going to store it as a negative thing. I'm going to store it as, okay, let's go. Let's boogie. I wake up in the morning, I get to fix this. I get to work with this, right? And so you let go. And if you let go of your daily things, I'm going to give you a promise. If you let go of your daily things and you don't put more in there, the next thing you know, something from the past is going to come up. And you're able to handle it exactly the same as you handle the daily thing. You learn how to let go. You learn how to not push things away. You learn how not to resist. Whoa, so all of a sudden mommy comes back up, daddy comes back up, first boyfriend comes up, first ex, second ex, third ex come back up, and you just keep letting go. And the next thing you know, it's really working. And the next thing you know, you're happier than you used to be for no reason. You should be happy for no reason. That's what I want. That's the happiness I like. I'm happy. Why? I don't know. I'm just happy. I'm just happy all the time. There's just this really nice energy flowing inside of me. Well, when does it not? Never. Okay? So that's where we're going today. That's what I wanted to talk about, is you either live a life of trying to get what you want so that it opens you, but that's hard. And it causes worries and anxiety and tension and all kinds of things, all right? And negativities, because why can't things be the way I want? And depression. I don't think things will ever be the way I want. That's depression. Or you say, I don't have to be like that. I can enjoy life. I can be open. I don't have to have it be a certain way for me to be okay. I can let go of the garbage that I collected inside of me. I don't know if I got it clear. You don't have preferences. The soul does not have preferences. It's open. It's filled. It's Satchitananda. It's filled with ecstasy and joy. It's spirit. It's always flowing. It's beautiful. The stuff that you stored in here is a package of preferences, and your consciousness is addicted to looking at them. And so you're caught. That's what's called being caught. If you let go of those things, all of a sudden you're not caught anymore. I'm telling you. You're going to understand there's a river of joy that flows inside of you. There is. There's a river of constant joy all the time, regardless of what's going on inside of you. Nothing can touch it. You want that? Then you live a life of letting go of your blockages, as opposed to living a life of getting things that get around your blockages. Now, like I said, you're going to do that. Nobody said you're announcing or throwing things away. But inside, do this inner work. And you're going to find out they merge with each other. And life becomes much easier until, first it's easier, then it's wonderful, then it's ecstatic, then it's nirvana. That's all nirvana represented for Buddha. It was so high, I'm beside myself. All right, work on these things. please. You make the world a better place. If one person's in ecstasy, it spreads. Jagrav.